It was just after midnight when the knocking began. Not loud, not frantic, just deliberate. One knock, then another, each one spaced carefully apart, as if whoever, or whatever, was on the other side knew exactly how much noise to make. Inside the small ranger station, the man behind the desk barely looked up. Nothing ever happened at that hour. The forest beyond the windows was usually silent by midnight. Even the insects seemed to know when to rest. Visitors came during daylight. Poachers avoided the station entirely. Animals never came this close. Never to the door. The ranger almost ignored it. Almost. But something felt wrong. The sound didn't come again, yet the silence that followed felt heavier than before. Thick, expectant, watching. He stood slowly, heart beating a little faster than it should have, and reached for the handle. When he opened the door, his breath caught in his throat. Standing there in the pale moonlight was a leopard. She was massive, yet her body sagged with exhaustion. Her golden coat was matted and darkened in places. Blood streaked the fur near her hind legs. Her belly was swollen, heavily pregnant. Her sides rose and fell in deep, labored breaths, each one a struggle. The ranger froze. In decades of work, he had seen leopards from a distance, slipping through shadows, vanishing like ghosts. Leopards did not approach humans. They did not knock. They did not stand in the open, vulnerable, exposed. They did not ask for help. And yet, here she was. The leopard didn't snarl, didn't bare her teeth, didn't charge. Instead, she held his gaze, steady, unblinking, eyes bright with pain and something else he couldn't immediately name. Then, slowly, she lowered herself to the ground. Not collapsing, not attacking, surrendering. Her body trembled as she settled onto the dirt, and a low, strained sound escaped her throat. Not a growl, not a warning, but something closer to a plea. This was not aggression. This was desperation. Somehow, against every instinct written into her blood, the leopard had chosen the one place she believed might save her unborn cubs. A human door. Leopards avoid humans at all costs. Their survival depends on it. For this female to come so close, into the open, under the moon, in full view, meant something had gone terribly wrong. For days, she had been searching for a place to give birth. Her usual den, tucked safely beneath a rocky outcrop near the river, had been destroyed when sudden flooding tore through the area. The water came fast and violent, collapsing stone and mud alike. The forest had changed overnight. Territory lines vanished. Rival predators moved in. Hyenas circled. Lions claimed new ground. Every safe place she knew was gone. And now her time had come. The contractions had started hours earlier, deep in the forest. At first she tried to move, dragging herself forward through pain, searching for shelter. Each step sent fire through her body. Each breath burned. One of the cubs was positioned wrong. She could feel it. Instinct screamed that something was not right. Labor slowed, then stalled. Her strength drained away with every passing minute. By the time she reached the edge of the ranger compound, her body was failing. She didn't come because she trusted humans. She came because she had no other choice. Because every other path led to death. The ranger stepped back slowly and reached for his radio. Within minutes, other rangers emerged from the darkness, weapons lowered, voices hushed. They formed a wide circle, careful not to startle her. Up close, the truth became terrifyingly clear. The leopard was in critical condition. Her breathing was shallow. Her muscles shook uncontrollably. Blood pooled beneath her. One cub was stuck. Without intervention, she would not survive the night. And neither would her cubs. Calling a veterinarian at that hour was risky. The nearest wildlife specialist was hours away. Even if they arrived in time, transporting a leopard in active labor could kill her. Sedating a pregnant leopard was even riskier. Too much, and the cubs would die. Too little, and she could panic, injuring herself, her young, or the people trying to help. One mistake would end everything. But doing nothing meant certain death. The team stood in silence, the weight of the decision pressing down on them. Then the ranger who had opened the door spoke quietly. She came here for a reason. That was all it took. They made a decision that would later shock everyone who heard the story. They would attempt the rescue. Right there. Lights were dimmed. Generators were shut down. Voices dropped to whispers. The forest seemed to lean closer, holding its breath. A veterinarian was reached by radio and guided them through the procedure step by step. The sedative was prepared, measured with hands that shook despite years of training. The leopard watched them. Even as pain racked her body, she did not fight. She did not flee. She stayed. The sedative was administered carefully, just enough to calm her, not enough to harm the cubs. Minutes passed. Long, agonizing minutes. The ranger checked her breathing. Still steady. Another contraction rippled through her body. Then suddenly, movement. A tiny paw emerged. Someone whispered, "I see it." Time fractured into seconds. Careful hands worked, guided by instinct and urgency. The cub slid free, limp at first, silent. Then, a breath, a twitch, a soft, fragile cry. The first cub was alive. Relief surged through the group, but it was short-lived. The mother's condition worsened. Her heartbeat slowed. Her breathing became shallow. The second cub wasn't responding. Panic threatened to break through the calm. They worked faster now. Sweat mixed with fear. This was no longer just a rescue. They were racing time itself. Then, a sound, weak at first, but unmistakable. The second cub cried out. Alive. Both cubs had survived. Moments later, so did their mother. As the sedation wore off, the leopard stirred. Her eyes opened slowly, unfocused at first. She lifted her head, saw the two tiny bodies pressed against her. Something changed. She released a deep breath, the tension leaving her frame all at once. With gentle movements, she nudged the cubs closer, curling her body protectively around them. Then she looked up, directly at the ranger who had opened the door. Her gaze lingered. No fear, no threat, just awareness. She stayed, for hours. As dawn crept over the horizon, painting the forest gold, the leopard remained where she was, watching, breathing, alive. As if she understood, as if she was saying thank you. At first light, the family was carefully transported to a protected sanctuary, far from danger, where the mother could recover and the cubs could grow strong. Weeks later, once she had healed and the cubs were steady on their feet, they were released into a safer territory, deep within protected land, where floods were rare and rivals few. The ranger watched them disappear into the trees. The mother paused once, glancing back. Then she was gone. He never forgot that night. Because sometimes, nature doesn't see enemies. Only hope. And sometimes, even the wild knows exactly where to go, when there's nothing left to lose.